energy and how it comes through, as well as talking about Jesus's energy and my own personal take on what I've experienced out of working with accessing the timelines of the past. And as with everything, choose your own discernment about what I have to say. This is my personal experience and my personal opinion of working with the energies. And if you are on today, we've got a new way of setting up where we're live streaming to 4 platforms, and hopefully anybody who can leave us a comment, if you can tell us where you're from, and I can actually post that into the live stream as we go. Helen's running a little bit more blind because she can't actually see what I can see, but she's working with her mobile as well. So this is just to help me do the presentation today. So thank you all of you for joining us today. Welcome. If you can just send me a comment just to say who you are and where you're from. Sometimes it's not picking up exactly who you are and where you're coming from in the stream. So just tell us who you are and where you're from today. That would be really great so that we can interact with you. And if you've got any questions to ask, please feel free to ask them as we go, and I'll stop and talk about whatever it is that you've asked. So, okay, right, let's have a look here. So, first point I want to talk about today is probably it's astrological, as well as like huge planetary shifts going on within the grid energetically. And what actually is occurring right now is, how to explain it all? We are in a planetary dark night of the soul energetically. And so this is forcing a lot of us to retreat and to feel very intense. I don't know if you can see the fire coming up in my physical body. I've had a lot of energy literally like coming up through my physical, and getting quite exhausted and depleted energetically by what the battle that's going on. And the battle is really spiritual warfare on an astral plane level. And so we are starting to see now through mainstream media that there is the veil is being lifted on what has remained hidden to the masses, and the levels of energetic manipulation that are embedded within our society. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want my stream to be lifted. I want to talk about the positive spiritual evolution of our entire species. That's more important. So what is being lifted is we have enormous help externally, cosmically, and we have different individuals are doing different jobs at a planetary level in order to lift the frequency and support people and humanity as we transition through this massive dark night of the soul. And the reason why I've called it the dark night of the soul today is because we have 7 planets which are retrograde. Mars, which is my ruling planet, went into station and retrograde like yesterday, I believe. And so I have literally felt my whole field grinding to a complete halt, and having to be very careful about how I'm using my energy, very conscious about pulling my energy back, and being quiet and just sitting in like the energy of what's actually transmuting through my physical being and my body and the planes and dimensions of myself at a quantum level. So now is a time to really conserve your life force as best as possible, and retract from deeper engagement in the collective warfare that is actually happening at a planetary level, and just trying to keep your light sovereign and pull through as much light as you possibly can. Would you like to add anything on that, Helen? Can't see any comments coming in from anybody right now. If you're watching, can you give us a yes, someone? Was that you or is that someone else?
It's me.
Okay. Well, somebody just gave me a heart. Thank you, whoever that is. It says Facebook user to me right now.
Yeah.
So, did you have anything you wanted to add around that, Helen?
just exactly what you're saying. There's just know that everything that's going on is very much three-dimensional, and we are multi-dimensional. So and we are shifting. So just stay in that, like you said, that sovereignty, and know that just try not to get absorbed into, just be the observer and just stay true to yourself. Yeah.
I think everybody is getting triggered on just so many levels, and whatever it is that decides to transmute through your physical body, you've just got to be present with it as best as you can and get help and assistance if you need it. As you know, guys, I've got a whole team that I rely on and help me out when I need help, and they're there for you too if you need any assistance. So let's talk about the question that was raised last week, which was by Marcus Hageland. I hope I've pronounced his name properly. And he mentioned in this comment, he said, "Is this the rapture happening that the Christians talk about, a shifting consciousness?" So I interpreted that to mean that Christians, I am not a Christian. I am not in a religious order in any way. And I have my own opinions about different religious organizations. But essentially, I think at some level, what I've seen is that some Christians actually talk about the feeling of the heart energy that they tap into. So there is some form of spiritual initiation that actually occurs in the Christian religion, and in some way they are accessing some divine part of themselves. But when you work with your energy on a spiritual level from a channeling perspective, it's not that you are under any organization, or that you have to contribute to the organization, or you have to, it's like, it's free. It's a free, it's like Tesla, it's free energy, right? So why do we need someone to get us to connect with our own source light and our own divinity? Because we don't, right? So that's the first thing around the rapture. I think the also he mentions, like, is it a shift in consciousness? Yes, it is a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in planetary consciousness as an entire collective. And I wanted to go into two things. So he also mentioned the return of Jesus and the return of Christ consciousness energy on earth. And so there's a difference between Jesus and the return of Christ, right? Which is what was depicted. And if I was to say, okay, we are all part of source energy, but a very, very, very long time ago, a part of source energy, being the divine feminine, was split off from the divine masculine energetically through the cosmos. And all that plays out now is like a manipulation of the divine feminine, where the divine feminine is trying to be reclaimed back to the divine masculine. And what that is in the energy, in our own internal energy, is a reclamation of the parts of ourselves that we've lost through time, or have been traumatized through time, or been damaged energetically through time. And through all of us, as we work on ourselves, we are working on the whole, and we're working on the whole collective. So what we shift inside of ourselves, we are doing for the masses as well as ourselves. Sometimes what we go through as a transmutation energetic exchange is not just some memory that we're trying to restore in our energy field. We're actually trying to restore it through the planetary collective consciousness. And so every little bit of work that we do on ourselves, every time we're working with channel and connecting to source, and increasing our light quotient, increasing our light levels, we are moving more and more into higher octaves of unification of the divine masculine and divine feminine. And that's the pull and push of energetics that's actually happening in the energy field. And so that is what Christ consciousness actually is. It's the embodiment of channel. And I'm just going to go briefly into what that means. So in some of the other broadcasts that I've done, I've talked about the pineal and the pituitary gland being like the valve that we use inside our mind, and the muscle around that, and how we use it to pull and push energy through our field and our quantum field. And so by receiving light from source, it's like drinking energy from the celestial. We clean and clear and transmute energy through our physical body. Okay. And I've lost my thread. Yeah, okay, so in the depictions of Christ, you will see the full halo of light around the head. And what that is Christ consciousness, because it's the capacity to pull voltage through the physical body. Okay, so when you take initiations into channeling energy, you start off like by sucking a pea through a straw, as I call it, and then the bandwidth gets bigger and you can pull more light, and then the next time you do it, it gets wider, and it gets wider and wider and wider until your whole head opens up. And that's what, like, the capacity with your consciousness to pull light and energy and source through the physical is the depictions of Christ, where it's like accessing pure consciousness, pure light source from source, right? So that was just a little bit of energy around what I was trying to express there. Sorry, I have a question. I'm just going to have a look. So it says, Jesus Christ is physical representation of Christos consciousness, Christos oil found in the human vessel. Okay, so Christos consciousness, as I perceive it to be, is an energetic grid through the planet. So it is we are a part of the mother father vehicle of the planet. Okay, so if we've got a grid that's crisscrossing the entire earth, what has actually been happening is parts of the ley lines and the grid points and the major vortexes, or the chakras of the planet, are being restored, recalibrated, re-engineered and upgraded, where out of those ley lines and energies is being taken or ripped out in certain places the intruder forces energetically that have been infecting the host, I suppose is the right word for it. That's the only way I can describe it. So it is not supposed to be there. The antimatter life force energies that control and manipulate this planet are not supposed to be here, and it is supposed to be brought back into unification. So this is a cycle of how do I explain this? Okay, so it just this is the exhale of the mother father energy when it lets go of the energies which are stuck in its field, right? So in exactly the same way as when we are ascending and we're pulling light and we're upgrading our energy and it comes around in a cycle and there's some other layer of stuff to do and process, the Earth's energy is also doing the same. It's trying to release the collective human trauma and animal trauma and elemental like imbalances in itself, and it's trying to evolve itself, and we can feel, sense and perceive that energetically, especially if you are a psychic and a remote viewer and a astral plane worker. So you're going to see, sense and perceive on a level that most people can't even for a second understand. So Christos, Christ consciousness, is definitely, it's the vessel of Mother Earth, Father Earth energies, and it contains the collective human and species consciousness. Okay, but the thing is, it's been traumatized. It's been traumatized. So many humans have been traumatized through the eons, and that is what's being lifted and the manipulations being lifted out the planetary grid. And we are just starting to see it all unfold. Did you want to say anything?
Yes, you're taking the words right out of my mouth. And saying them.
Honestly, I must be 100 degrees here.
Oh, but no, it's good. You're exactly saying that, and we are actually vibrating at a much higher level already. Like consciousness has lifted. Even the people that that aren't aware of it, they're actually vibrating at a higher rate as well, because we're all lifting together. Yeah,
we are. So I'm going to go into so Christos consciousness is not just Christos, it's Christos Sophia consciousness. So Christos is the male source energy, and Sophia is the divine feminine energy, and the two are married. And Jesus and his partner, whether that's classified as Mary Magdalene or whatever their names were, they are a physical representation of divine feminine and divine masculine energies. Now, I actually have had an experience where I met Jesus's energy on a flight, and I'm going to explain what happened. So I can't actually remember. I'm going to tell you guys about that. I've just got one question I'm going to answer right here. I'm only referring to human. Okay, thank you for your contribution. Anything that's happening through the human is also happening through the planetary collective consciousness grid, which is the Christ grid, but it's really the Crystal Sophia grid, which is not to be misconstrued with diamond matrix, which is also a part of the planetary body of the Earth. Somebody saying hello. I'm not quite sure. It's just coming up with Facebook user. Hi. If you could tell me who's on, that would be really great. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about my experience with Jesus's energy, which actually blew me away. A long time ago, I can't actually remember where I was flying. I was on a really long flight from somewhere to somewhere, and I actually can't sleep sitting upright. And so on a long flight, I will sit and meditate. And so I actually had been meditating for about 6 whole hours by the time. Hi, Tom. I've been meditating for 6 hours when I saw this incredible vision. And what I remember is I was sitting in presence in just like my own inner darkness of being in meditation. And Jesus's energy, like the actual being, walked up beside where I was sitting and leaned over and put its hand on my seat and down to the side and looked around at my face. And I just, in my inner vision, I just went, oh my God. I didn't say this personally, but I just went, oh my God, it's JC. And it was hilarious. And I looked at him and I thought, oh my God, no wonder people were so besotted with him, right? And revered him, because he has got the most like incredible blue eyes, like nothing I've seen out of a human being, but in spirit, obviously he's ascended with that like energy. It's very Melchizedek, because Melchizedek's energy, when he comes forward, he's got blue eyes. But I was looking at Jesus where I went, oh my God, he's actually like not white, Caucasian white, he's tanned. And I thought to myself, why is he tanned? Of course, he's a Mediterranean. He was born in the Mediterranean. So like they've got a slightly different colored skin. And I was just looking at him, gazing at him. He didn't say anything to me and I didn't say anything to him. But you probably heard my internal thoughts as I was watching him. And I thought, no wonder people were like really, looked at you with such reverence, because he had such an amazing energy. So that was my personal experience with sitting in meditation and seeing a visitation of Jesus. And since then, I have worked with Jesus's energy on numerous occasions, and I actually feel that there's bits of truth around his history, and then there's bits of lack of truth, I suppose is the right word for it. And so the bits that I have picked up is that he was a channel between source and, the consciousness of humanity. He wrote literature and passed on teachings. He also went through mystery school initiations. His partner also was holding mystery school initiation energy. And they had the power with their own consciousness to actually see what was in their reality and fix it. And so they were coming through with the God force energy. And I believe that Jesus's energy and Mary Magdalene were both grid workers as well as the apostles. So I believe that they actually were doing some recalibration work at a planetary level in that time period as well. And Jesus, when I've worked with his energy, he does not want to be classified as separate to the other ascended masters and archangelics and energies which work for the force of, the universe or source consciousness. And like, they don't want to be, he doesn't energetically want to be seen as separate and isolated out as the Son of God, because that is, it's a form of misinformation that wishes to be conveyed. And I've often said to people these words. And so I think Jesus had a very important energetic position where he was doing work on the ley lines of the earth, and he is directly connected to the Crystal Sophia grid of the planet as a form of gatekeeper, I suppose is the right word for it. So if one is trying to work on our own field, I would be looking to pull forward the energies of Sophia and Christos as a frequency to be recalibrated in your own energy. It doesn't mean to say I call on Jesus, but you're asking for unification in your own energy field around that. So does anybody have any questions around that, or information to part in their own experiences, if they've had any where they've seen Jesus's energy or channeled Jesus's energy, or have any different beliefs around that? Now, whilst I'm waiting for that to come in, if anybody's got any questions around what I just said, I do feel that the depictions of Christ being crucified on the cross is not of a positive nature. So he was an ascended being. So what that means is that he was able to sort of transcend what was able to happen to him in physical form to ascend in light body out of the physical body. And I know that he was going up against, opposition, like we often do. And how he exited this world, I can't actually clarify, because I haven't worked with him to understand that. But I don't actually approve of the whole martyrdom, like the way that it's used, him being crucified on the cross as like a positive representation. If you understand what I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Helen?
Yeah. In Christianity, after he ascended afterwards into his light body, rose again. So that's a Christian belief, or a Christian belief, that that's how he exited.
I also don't approve of the drinking of wine as the representation of the blood of Christ, and the body of Christ, and that's actually I can feel that in my energy field as soon as I go to speak of it. I don't think that is like, that's not in a positive light. Do you follow what I'm saying? There's manipulation behind the energy of it. So
yeah.
please just make your own discernment about what your own beliefs are. This is not to go up against the beliefs of everybody. It's just my own personal interpretation of working with source energy and my own personal experiences. Yeah. I can't put that into the broadcast. But yeah, that's my own feelings around it. I'm getting showered in light as I speak. Okay, so I did make mention just a minute ago of the diamond grid, which is it's like a crystal harmonic grid which we can tap into, and they recently discovered the energy of it, so it does exist. So what I read recently is that about 166 miles down in the earth, and I don't know how they've proven this, but there's a crystal diamond matrix through the earth, which probably holds in it almost like the divine blueprint for the planet or the planetary body. So how this was founded by the starseed races, and there were 12 tribes that came to the earth. It's like this matrix inside the planet is also being recalibrated, which is slightly separate to, if I was to say, it's like, you know, one could be the nervous system and one could be the blood vessels of the planetary body, or one could be the bone structure and the other one could be the, you know, one of the other systems. So it is really cool to spend time going down with your consciousness as deep as you possibly can into the earth and actually seeking the crystal diamond matrix of the planet and bringing that energy up through your field to raise your vibrational frequency. It's quite interesting. So please explore that if you get a chance to. Now, what else have I got on my bucket list? Okay, just give me a second. So I've got a quote here that I put down earlier on paper when I was talking about this Christos energy, the Sophia Christos frequency of the divine masculine and divine feminine, which is to make one whole, is a series of spiritual initiations to basically unify polarity within the physical and energetic fields of the body and light body and beyond. And even I learned something today where I have discovered that these, I've spoken about them in some of the other broadcasts that we've been doing. Sometimes I will hear almost like a classical kind of tones coming through before I have an experience. And I know that that's an activation on my energy field, but I've just discovered that beyond the light body is actually something called sound body. So there are like, how do I explain it? There's musical tones coming in from the cosmos to upgrade the physical field of what you're holding in your entire body. And they are truly celestial experiences, and I know that we're going to talk about some of those, but I would say the highest of the high experiences when we're experiencing celestial energy will come in with some sort of, like, it's almost like something out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind when the UFO actually makes those tones and speaks back. It's like the universe speaks some sort of celestial energy signature to you, and then you will have an experience around what's encoded within that. But there is actually a field beyond the light body called the sound body, which is something new to me even today to discover. And it's amazing how we're always constantly evolving. I'm just going to have a quick look at this. Okay, thank you so much, whoever that was, for thanking me for putting the broadcast on. I'd love to know who it is. I don't know why today. Yesterday when we were doing the test, some of these were coming through with actually who was watching. And please, could you, or you guys, could you put your name down and ping me a link to say who's on? I know Tom is on. Okay, so if anybody's got any questions around that, that's really good. Now, okay, so as we increase the flow of light source, or source energy through our physical body, the whole point of doing this is we're reunifying with the God force within us, right? And what actually occurs as a result of that is our spirit is being freed of enslavement matrices, or energies which pull down our frequency from being in full alignment. And with that, more freedom. This is why we're saying freedom. Like the other day, I was sitting in meditation, and one of the most profound energies as a word that you can actually tune into and meditate with is the word peace. It is just divine to work with, because you actually can access like peace in each of your energy centers and each of your chakras. So the whole point of all of this is to create more peace in your own energy field, more freedom, more love, and more wisdom. So, and more alignment. Like, it's about being aligned fully with your spiritual purpose. So whatever you do, whatever you're experiencing in your life, it's all about coming back into harmonic, like, convergence with, like, why the hell you're here, what you're here to do, who you're here to help, how you're here to serve. And it's not necessarily about, living your best life, which is what, some people in the spiritual new age circuit will be all about, the buzz of, being addicted to like high energy and all of that. It's not necessarily about that. It's about you actually attaining a deeper connection with source energy and receiving wisdom, being able to listen and interpret that, and go with guidance. I've just lost Helen. She just came back, thank God, but now I've lost me properly. There we go. Right, just give me 1 second, guys. I just need to fix and tweak something. Hopefully it's going to come back. No, it hasn't. Oh well, technical glitches occurring. Okay, so where was I? No idea.
I can see you.
I was talking about alignment. So it's all about coming back into some sort of peaceful existence, which is what everybody wants, what everybody needs. The last thing we want is being controlled and manipulated by, megalomaniacs. That's what needs to happen. We need to come into our own sovereign right, to make our own sovereign choices, to, align with who we are, how we want to serve people, what we want to do in this life, without being controlled and manipulated, unfortunately. And hopefully it's all going to get ripped out very shortly. We're all waiting with bated breath. I saw about a week ago a vision which, and I always find that my energy, when it goes through a massive shift, that it's just before something massive is going to happen, and something big. And before all of this broadcast, which has literally kind of been running through my energy field for a whole week since I saw that question, I saw a huge, what's the right word for it? If you were to line up 10 volcanoes together, these volcanoes it was like, the grey smoke that comes off the volcanoes. And I looked at this vision and I thought, bloody hell, something massive is going to happen in this window of these retrogrades. And I don't know what it is, but it's going to be big, whatever it is. And it's part of the exhale. It's part of the energy lifting out of the grid, and I can't wait to see the results of it, let's say. So who did we have? We got Megan. Hello, Megan. Just her ping here. Where did that go? There we go. And we've got Alicia. Hi, Alicia, darling. Has anybody got any questions about what I'm talking about today? And this is someone else. I don't know who. Next week it'll probably work.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay, now, what else? I think I want to talk next about the connection to the celestial energies again, and how that eventuates in your own energy. Yeah. So, hi, hello, Naz. Nice to meet you. Let's talk about the celestial energy. So, there are different ways that when we open to channel and pull energy for the first time, what that comes through as to start with is almost like you've always known that you've had the ability, but it's like you've just been switched on, and now you can pull energy for the first time, and you have to learn how to keep running that energy. It's like a discipline of going in and like fine-tuning where you can send it with your consciousness, and pull and push with your breath. And as you climb up to the next level with it, you can actually change with your intention the color, vibration, or frequency. This week, when I've sat in meditation, I've been seeing, like, and I'm predominantly a blue ray. I work with blue energy an awful lot. I sometimes work with gold frequency as well, but this week I've had like the emerald order or emerald covenant energy coming through quite strongly, where it's almost like one of those amazing beautiful dresses, you know, with the shot taffeta kind of like satin energy when it steps forward to be integrated. So you can actually sit and just choose to ask to bring through a color frequency that you need for your physical body, or you can choose a color and start consciously intending to pull through a specific color frequency, right? And so when we first start channeling energy, you know, you've seen the depictions of the 7 chakras. There are many, many more, but they have traditional rainbow colors. And what actually happens over time is those chakras actually move down into your legs. So, you know, it's not about necessarily channeling red into the base chakra, because your chakra system might have moved, if you've moved out of 3D into 4D and processing like stuff, and then they go down into the earth. Your 3D chakras will go down into the earth when you actually move into 5th dimensional consciousness, and so on and so on. And each time your etheric is kind of clearing and upgrading, it will change like the tone or the color or the vibrational frequency that you need through that energy center as part of your purification process. So sometimes I'm working with metals because like I need a gold frequency, or I need a silver frequency, or I need a platinum frequency, or you know, whatever, through your physical body. So you can choose a color and try to channel pulling through, you know, purple, and see what it does in your vision. The more you practice this, the better you will be able to see when you change like a frequency. Your vision will change to the frequency of what it is that you're tuning into and pulling as an energy signature. So another area that we can explore quite easily is running crystal frequencies. So crystals are fantastic, and you don't even have to have the crystal in your hands. I've often channeled with crystals where I've never seen the crystal, I've never had example of the crystal, but you can pull the energy of the crystal by name to you out of the planetary grid into or from a location if you know where there's a piece. I quite often used to say in sacred space, you know, when somebody needed something, tap into the energy of the store and pull the crystal frequency from the store. So you can sit in meditation and actually ask spirit to send you a crystal frequency if you don't know what it is, and then you can wait to see what energy comes in naturally for you, and then you can actually see, sense, and perceive where it decides to go in your physical body as well. And then as you get more adept at it, it can give you information, and it can tell you what its purpose is and what it's there for. So I've written quite a lot about crystals and crystal frequencies, which you can find sort of encoded in my pieces of jewellery that are online at my Divinity Jewellery store on Etsy. And there is a link in the post down below. So everything, I personally believe that every single thing has some form of alchemy to it. So we can interact with it on a quantum level, and it can give us an energetic exchange or upgrade in our own energy. Would you say that's been your experience, Helen?
Yes, even today.
So what were you channeling today?
Well, yeah, I was meditating with the Palladians today, so
Ooh.
just pulling in some energy from those those beautiful beings.
Blue beings?
Yeah, yeah, really good. So yeah, just
Nice.
can pull it in all the way down, around infinities.
The infinity symbol is an awesome symbol. I would say the infinity symbol, when I discovered it, you can actually draw the infinity symbol actually into your energy field. So I'm just going to try and do it like this, you know. But you can draw it into, physically draw it into a chakra and then allow it to settle down, or you can just rotate your energy in your chakra and do the infinity symbol, and it's a really good energy symbol to like help you balance and clean your chakra.
And even imagining like the Christ consciousness grid moving in through your energy field, and then your infinity symbol coming in and out of your heart and in through the grid as well. So you're connecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at some of these. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for saying thank you. What else have we got here? What's this one? Is this the same? Oh, I think she just sent it twice. No, it's crystal frequencies. Great. And then I've got another one just here. Hold on. Yeah, it's a great symbol to use when you're trying to fix your energy. I always know that I've come unstuck in my energy when I'll just briefly talk about this. The astral bodies. So each of the chakras is connected to an astral body. So your base chakra is connected to the physical astral body, and then your sacral is connected to, I think it's the emotional. It's like you don't need to know what they are, but it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and it goes up into the light body and all of that. But basically it's a layer, like if you imagine yourself as an onion, you've got a layer around you that builds up into the whole of your toroidal field. And sometimes we can get an astral body alignment come out of alignment, and so you can always feel that when you get a clunk and it almost feels like you're not quite able to stay in your body. Does that make sense to you? So it can either be a clunk where you're trying to meditate and you're getting a jolt, or you're trying to go to sleep and you're getting a jolt, and it's one of your astral bodies or multiple that has gone out of alignment and it needs to be physically like tilted back in. And I try doing this myself, where I actually ask my higher self to realign like my base chakra astral body alignment, and I wait and I sit and I see if it'll, like, if it needs any recalibration. And where I'm going to is, if you hit an astral body where you find that it's just, no matter what, your higher self is not able to put it back into alignment, that's when you need to get somebody to work on your energy field to bring it back into alignment. And also, if you're getting massive jolts of, like, you know, when you try to go to sleep and you can't sleep and you're awake all night and, you know, it's going pear-shaped, that's when you've literally unclipped from your earth star, which is like joining your spirit to this dimensional plane of existence. And when you go down into the earth star, which is the chakra point that's about 6 inches below your feet, it's like your spirit has got, like my old higher self teacher Susan Rudd, she used to say that it's like you've got bird claws around a crystal ball, and it's like if your claws aren't attached to that crystal ball and hanging onto it, and you've come loose from it, that's your spirit's kind of jumping around in your physical body, and it's not fully here. And not fully here is when we've given up and we're disassociated with the earth, and we just, you know, we're in a complete dark of the night of the soul, or we've had a really big shock. You will come unclipped from your earth star. So I hope that little bit of info helps discern whether, when you're actually in your own energy field, making these minor tweaks and adjustments and doing some channeling, that's my take on, I know inside of myself, right, if I can't fix it, I get a bit of help to fix it. So there is more around the celestial vision side of things. So yeah, okay, great. Thank you for the infinity symbol advice. I'm just climbing up. So far we've talked about opening to channel, running color frequencies, running crystal frequencies. Okay. And then one of the most obvious is actually transcending consciousness from being here in the mind down into the heart chakra, and actually learning how to drop your consciousness into the heart to actually sit and be present and move into a space where we experience some form of blissful peace, I suppose is the right word for it. And it's like, I believe the heart actually is like a second emanation of consciousness. It's like the heart has its own God force intelligence. This is the only way I can describe it, put it into words. I've had multiple experiences over the years where I see the fourth eye and the third eye, or the pineal and the pituitary gland, as like a two-way. If I was to draw a triangle going this way and a triangle going that way, it's like it's a projection through both the fourth eye and the third eye. So there is a projector mechanism inside which comes from God consciousness. So it's like whatever you are seeing or receiving as energy and information through your brain and your consciousness is a direct emanation of what source is viewing and recording, and, like, you know, nothing is lost. It's all going through a hard drive. Do you follow what I'm trying to say there? It's quite difficult to explain. In exactly the same way, I believe that the heart chakra is not a, they're showing me like, it's not a two-way mirror, it's a four-way chamber. And years ago, I had a teacher who had written in a book that as you go through different spiritual initiations, there are 3 chambers to the heart chakra. And I actually totally disagree, because I accessed the 4th chamber of the heart chakra, and then spirit came through with some information around that. So I'd like to explain and express what that is. So as you work through ascending your consciousness into your heart chakra and spending time in your heart, you will find that you can tap into your heart light or your heart's source light, like in the same way as consciousness comes through and inspiration comes through, heart frequency of God force can actually come through you. And I've used it for years on an interdimensional level by not being in my head, by being in my heart chakra and using my heart light to actually dissolve what reality I'm witnessing. So inside your heart chakra, you can go through different dimensions. So the different dimensions are directly connected to like almost levels of field intelligence in your own energy field. And I believe that everybody, if they were to spend enough time in meditation, could actually access all the dimensions of the heart. So the heart as an organ is like 4 chambers. It's got 4 valves to it, hasn't it? And so it's the only organ that's got multiple, so each one is a dimension. So it kind of makes sense that when we're first connecting, we're looking at running a green frequency to access the heart chakra, but then we can actually step forward. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to give you guys a tip on how to do this, but I'm not going to tell you what each of the colors are, because that reveals, like, it will reveal itself to you when you have accessed it. So the first layer of the heart chakra is, identification with self, and then the second, and being able to feel love and give love. And the second chamber is to give unconditional love, but also to be of service to people. That is a different frequency shift where the color vibration changes and you actually slide through a doorway into another aspect of consciousness of your own heart chakra. So for me, there are 4 of these chambers, and I won't give you any more than that, but I will tell you how to get in it. So I found that the sound of the frog, which is an amazing little creature, actually, if you sit and meditate, I don't know where online you can find the sound of a frog, but there used to be one in my garden. And I would sit and meditate for hours, and this would take me through the doorways into like the deeper chambers of the heart chakra. So have you got anything you want to add around the heart chakra and how to actually get deep inside your heart?
Just just breathing into it. But I was going to actually say, like, does ask a question about then, like I was going to, about your gut. Like, does your gut have another element as well to it? Then,
Yeah.
Your heart, your gut, and your normal brain. So
I would say that the heart chakra and the brain chakra are like the solar plexus is much more in the physical world or physical reality than like the heart and the brain chakras, because the heart and the brain are really, it's like the heart even receives information in advance of the brain. The heart is the primary, it's the primary chakra to really work with in consciousness. Yes,
yeah,
that's a great point. The solar plexus being our power center, it's really the I'd say the solar plexus is the engine. And I think I went through an upgrade a couple of weeks ago where I was heavily working in my solar plexus chakra, but this week it's been more in the higher chakras, working with green frequencies and letting go of fire out of my physical body or trapped memories through my physical. But I think essentially we have to work through all of our energy centers and all of our like all dimensions of our being, and keep working with the energy. And that's what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to give people like tools on understanding what it's like to access celestial energy properly. So the
your heart
next
is
one,
just.
the next way that we can feel celestial energy is the lifting off of density out of our field. So by the time we've got something like that's appeared in the physical body, it's manifested through all of the layers of our spiritual, emotional, mental body until it like lands in the physical, and then it manifests as illness. It's not the same as sort of being born in with genetic disease or genetic disorders. It's like something that onsets in time, and quite often it's connected to a different set of events that's actually kind of stored a memory in the physical body or vehicle. And we have to constantly go through an upgrade of like pulling in light and lifting density off our physical bodies, because our physical bodies um, are, I suppose, when you work with the light, it's like it's actually hard to be in a physical body because there's so much of you that is light. Do you follow what I'm saying?
That's what the Canadians actually said today. It's hard being a human.
Oh, incredibly hard being human. Incredibly hard. So one of the ways that we can actually feel celestial energy is when the density lifts, and we feel like Asha did some work on me, like probably about March, and I had something literally growing inside me, and the next time I went back and had an ultrasound, it was gone, because I actually felt the density, the energy lift off completely. It left, and it was quite profound as a feeling and an experience. So sometimes we've got energies that just appear, and they build up, and then they want to leave. So that in itself, even though it's not like feeling the energy of like a light body cascade, just by lifting it off your energy field is like leaving some bags and some luggage bags behind that you were carrying before, right? Okay, so another way that came in last week was receiving a seed of light and getting loads of inspirational energy and creative content in it. So some of you might have heard the fact that I call myself a claircognizant channel. So claircognizant means clear knowing, where I literally receive a seed of light and it contains loads and loads of data. So that in itself, when you first go to wake up and it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and you receive this divine download from the universe, and you packed with like loads of stuff in it, and you go away, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you've got to spend all day trying to process whatever it is that they want you to bring through, but it can come in as like a pocket of light, and it contains information. Like when I've been channeling in the past and I've written books and stuff like that, it's like you can go, they can send you words you've never ever heard of. You've got to Google search them, and then way it's written is in a context of like exactly where it should be, and it's not even a word in the English language you've ever heard of. So that's one of the hallmarks of, yes, that's clear channeling as in automatic writing, but it can come in as like this inspirational energy that comes in very early in the morning. I used to find when I was lucky enough to have a bath rather than a shower that I've got now, I used to find loads of information come in when I was in the bath, because the water frequency is so clear or clean in your energy field that it amplifies the celestial energy able to get through to you. So lying in the bath and receiving downloads or meditating in the bath is fantastic. And going to like sacred places, where there's water running in nature, like more running than like just sitting by the beach. But if you can find like a spring or somewhere where there's a little bit of running water running through nature, that is what I classify as a power spot energy, and something that you should like always have as a place that you can take your consciousness and like feed off of the energy of source from there too. It's a great place to put your energy. to receive divine inspiration. And another one, let's have a look. What did I write? Okay. Other ways to feel celestial energy I've written here is 2 words: reverence and gratitude. And when I say that, it's about actually feeling it deeply within inside yourself. So when you have a celestial experience, whether it's something that's in your 3D reality where you're really, really grateful for something, that's the gratitude kicking in, where you can actually feel it. But also, like, reverence, as in not revering someone. It's more like, how do I explain it? It's more like having an experience where you're truly in awe of the wisdom and grateful to receive, like, right through your whole being. So I know it's a weird one, because it's not like channeling energy, but it's actually like a virtuous expression of, like, feeling something really profoundly celestial. It's almost like you consider it to be a miracle, but it's not. It's just how the universe's energy is working through you, for you, and supporting you, and you have an experience, and you just, like, in reverence, to humbly receive it.
Yeah, I was thinking humble exactly when you said that.
Yeah. And lately that comes in for me, if I hear those sound codes, it's just like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
Next
There's
level.
not a lot of, like, fabulous energy running at the moment. So when you get something, it's like, thank God. Me.
You're traveling up the celestial escalator.
Yeah. Well, it's the universe's way of dropping the celestial. I always used to call it the celestial carrot, where I'm a donkey and I'm chasing the celestial carrot of the next frequency upgrade in my energy field. Okay, so the next one, light body cascades. So light body cascades are usually experienced in a few different formats. So light body cascades in your energy field are experienced when you receive a crystal, or like a piece of jewelry that might have crystal and symbolic energy to it, and it's spoken of to you, where you, like, make a link between the alchemical interpretation of what that represents and you can feel this, like, light frequency run through your energy field, where you go, I need that crystal, or I need that piece, because it sets off a chain reaction in your energy field where it's undeniable to you. It's almost like when you hear one of those amazing gospel singers, and, like, all this energy rains through your energy field. It's a little bit like that, but it's personalized to you, for you to receive. So that's what I call a light body cascade. And sometimes it can come in a few other formats. So sometimes it comes in just in meditation, where the person that you're listening to doing the guided meditation is actually taking you into a light body upgrade. And for a few seconds, you can feel, like, celestial heavenly frequencies, like, literally shower. And it's quite cool as it comes through, but it's literally like a celestial rain shower, I suppose is the right word for it. And I live for those. They're great. And I've put here star code upgrades. Now, we did talk quite extensively about star or stellar codes, and these are directly connected to almost like frequency exchanges between your home realm as a starseed and you as a emissary of your starseed race, or your tribe, one of the founder races. and that can come through in a similar way. So it's like getting direct support from your team of origin, which is not Earth.
I like to.
And then the last one that I've written here is the receiving visitations or visions which you know are celestial in nature. So those are the main ways that we can experience, like in the fullest capacity, Christos Sophia consciousness through our energy field. I hope that was really interesting for everybody, because that's been running through my energy field all week. And if you're still watching, we've got 6 people still watching. There is a chance now to ask any more questions. This is a fairly epic broadcast for me.
I think we all need a bit of Christos consciousness at the moment.
Yeah, well,
or we've all got it. We just need to tap into.
I think, like I said, I always get nailed before there's a big nailing in the physical world. So don't be surprised if there's some really massive, I mean, nothing would shock us these days, but some shocking revelations still yet to come or whatever. But there is a lot of people working around the world. Visualize lifting, channeling, pull your light, do what you can. Try not to lose yourself in the utter chaos that's unfolding. And I've got a question, which is great. Can you explain what the bursts of light I see shatter around me? Okay, so I'm not entirely sure about that. I would say, can you give me a bit more information about what colors you're seeing? And like, I think I just need a bit more information. What's your name? Can you give me your name so that I can dial in? Okay. So this person gets bursts of energy like bubbles, like a bubble of light that comes in. Okay, so what they're saying to me, it's like transmission codes. So this is coming from your source origin for you to integrate. It's like what they're showing me is like, if you can, when you see something like that, can you reach your consciousness out to it and pull it down and through you? Rather than you just looking at it and being able to see it, can you try to actually consciously pull it through and integrate it? Does that resonate for you? Bluish white. So, this is good energy for you to integrate. Hello, Nazim. Okay, it is coming in really fast, but do you remember me saying, I was talking, if you want to re-listen to the broadcast, I can get a seed of light come in and it takes me all day to pull it through, okay? So yeah, it's going to come in fast, but it's like about you learning to like say, okay, thank you, I humbly receive your energy that you're sending to me, and now I want to pull it. You want to keep your eyes closed and take your consciousness out and pull it through and allow it to download and allow it to sit in your energy field. So this person is, Nazim, saying it just pops and shatters, but that's okay. It's just being sent to you and it's coming in for you to receive it. That's okay. So you're on some level, you're bringing it in for you to receive it. So just try and work with the energy. Hang on. But that's okay. So, you know, you're just seeing it like pop, like a soap bubble. I've got a really interesting story to talk about soap bubbles. Um, shall I say it? Seeing as I'm here in the moment.
Popped in.
Okay, great. He's going to try and integrate it. Okay, so I'm just going to sign off with one very mystical experience that I had many, many, many years ago, 1989. 1989, it was Christmas Eve, and I was watching The Wizard of Oz with my mother on the TV. And all of a sudden, there was a bang, and the TV went bright pink and went off. And I turned around and I looked, and I went to the window because this ball, this whole plasma ball of energy, was like a beach ball, actually came floating towards the window. And it is a phenomena called ball lightning. Have you ever heard of that? You've heard of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about hairy. So this plasma ball, now I do remember it had like a hint of gold to it, and I know it had a hint of purple to it as an energy color, but my memory is a bit foggy around it. But it came to the other side of the glass and it was hovering, like just doing that. It was like, and then it popped and it like a soap bubble and went out.
Wow.
And there are stories of ball lightning where it actually like will go through walls and glass and like actually, you know, if it hits your energy field, because it can give you an electric shock. But
Yeah.
it's a little bit different to what we're talking about coming in from the cosmos, but it's such an interesting story. It's always fascinated me that
Mm.
I've seen ball lightning and been a survivor of it, because sometimes people don't actually survive actually seeing it. So yeah, and my mother has had no recollection of it whatsoever. But I think
Wow.
on some level it hit it might have hit the you know the aerial, and it sent the TV. I've never seen a TV go pink. The whole screen went pink, and then I turned around and there was this ball coming towards the window.
Wow.
And
That's a
my life was very very spooky back then.
I had a similar, but it was actually with electricity. But we had a power surge go through the house, and I saw the electricity run. Like we were in bed at the time,
Wow.
and there was and looking out the door down the hallway, and I saw the electricity fly down the hallway, like in colour. It was blue and pink, and a bit of yellow.
I think there was blue
So
in this like bowl as well. From
yeah,
my memory is so hazy around it.
yeah, it blew
Fascinating.
up. It blew up our power box, this power surge, and then the electricity just shot down, and it came like. So I mean, and lightning's electricity too. So
Yeah, I've had the electrician told me this is not possible, and I said, well, I don't care. I've had it happen to me. I've had like a plug board that used to be by my bed, and for years actually I got rid of electricity around my bed until I got my zero gravity bed. And there was a plug board that was on the floor, and it was about a foot away from where my arm used to sort of lie out the side of the bed. And I definitely had an entity shock from the plug board shoot into my hand, like full on 240-volt electric shock.
mm,
And the Sparky said to me, "It's not possible." I thought, "Well, I don't care. I've had it happen to me.
yeah,
I don't care whether it's possible or not, or you think it's possible."
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, but that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody actually seeing the lightning run through the house. But
Swear, I could see it as clear as day,
yeah,
even now. Just yeah.
let me just see.
And it had sound too. Sorry, it had a sound. It was like woo. It had sound to it.
Oh, right, okay, cool. I don't remember but the ball lightning for me just popped in an instant, like it
Yeah,
did, like a soap bubble. It was
yeah.
bizarre.
But even to affect the television before you saw it was amazing. You know, that just the energy around obviously around your house with it.
Oh yeah. So it's probably earthing through that. You just saw the quantum phenomena,
Yeah.
I suppose is the right word for it, of the
Yeah.
energy passing through. Okay, so somebody else has got, yes, something similar like this happened near me when my mum passed away. Okay, so I don't know if that was to do with ball lightning or if that was to do with you actually seeing your mum's spirit exit. I don't know. Not quite enough information. Okay, big peach coloured bubble burst when my mum crossed over. Okay, well, it's directly connected to the heart chakra because the spirit is definitely attached through like the heart chakra. I've seen when I've been out of body, I've actually seen like a tube of light with light like emanating from the tube where I've been on one side of the room and it's connected to the back of your heart chakra. So when that unplugs, when you detach from the physical vehicle, there will be like an emanation of that. So the peach colored frequency is directly connected to the heart chakra. Fascinating questions, guys. So cool. Love hearing about experiences like this. Well, this is what we're here for. I've had everything wacky known to man happen to me over the years, and now is for me to share those experiences with you guys, and for you guys to share experiences with me, and for me to hopefully help you discern some truth around your own experiences. I would dearly love for more questions to come through that we, ask me anything metaphysical, spiritual, and I will try and incorporate it in the next broadcast. If anybody is interested in what I do and what Helen does, we are both mentors. Helen is a spiritual mentor within salon industry and sets people up her mission is to evolve the whole salon industry out of a descended way of working into an ascended way of working. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yes, it is.
And for me, I am a spiritual business mentor, so I help people who are in the next generation of light workers and spiritual business entrepreneurs looking to establish themselves at a global level to serve clients to the best of their ability and to set up the systems that they need to be able to run their businesses efficiently. So I do that through a training program, which is on my website, louiseannwinchester.com, and it's called the Quantum Leap Transformation Program because we dial in specifically to your soul and align you with what is in your blueprint to carry out in this life, and then set up the business resonance and architecture and teach you a whole load of stuff. My next group is going through on the 30th of September, so if you're interested, check it out. There is a link in the bio for this broadcast. Please leave me any questions and we will see what we can come up with next week for you. We'll be back at 3 o'clock on Thursday next week. Thank you so very much for watching this first 4-channel broadcast. Thank you for interacting and staying tuned. And if you're watching this afterwards, please leave any comments that you want. Thank you so much for being on this call.
Thank you.
Bye.